Sarah Brennan heard the screams before she saw the blood. Her trapline check had gone routine until that sound. Human terror mixed with snarling fury ripped through the twilight. She ran toward it, rifle ready, and found a nightmare. 4 wolves circling a fallen man, his horse's carcass steaming in the snow. She fired twice into the air. The pack scattered but lingered at the treine, eyes glowing like coals. The man, a cowboy, maybe 30, lay in spreading crimson, his left thigh torn open to bone. "Leave me," he rasped, "not worth it." Sarah ignored him. The wound was arterial, minutes, not hours. She ripped her scarf into a tourniquet, yanked it tight. He screamed, then went silent. "Stay awake," she commanded, dragging him toward her sledge. He was heavy. Dead weight, but she'd hauled deer carcasses before. This was just meat that could talk back. The wolves followed 50 yards back. Patient as death, she loaded him, his blood soaking her coat. His saddlebag had spilled among the scattered items. A worn gold wedding ring, and a child's drawing of 3 stick figures holding hands. "He's running from something." "Emma," he mumbled, delirious, "told you I'd come back broken." Sarah's cabin emerged through the blizzard like a promise. Lamplight in a single window. She dragged the stranger inside, bolted the door, and only then allowed herself to shake through the window. Wolf eyes watched. They weren't done with him, and neither apparently was she. For 3 days, Cole Hartley burned. Sarah changed blood-soaked bandages, spooned broth into cracked lips, and listened to him confess sins to ghosts. She learned his wife's name, Emma, his son's, Thomas, age 5, and the guilt that carved channels in his fever talk. "I wasn't there. God forgive me. I wasn't there." She understood. 2 years ago, Calera had taken her husband David while she'd been in town buying flour. Guilt was a language they both spoke fluently. On the 4th morning, his fever broke. Cole woke to find Sarah asleep in a chair beside his makeshift bed, her face gray with exhaustion. He studied her red hair escaping its braid, worn hands folded in her lap, the kind of tired that came from caring too much. "You should have left me," he said when her eyes opened. "Maybe." She stood, poured water, "but I didn't." Their first real look passed between them, recognition of mutual haunting. A knock interrupted. Sarah's face tightened. "Stay quiet." She opened the door to Jenkins, the town supply runner. His gaze slid past her to Cole. "Just checking on you, Mrs. Brennan. Heard you had company. Injured traveler. Christian duty, of course." His smile didn't reach his eyes. "I'll let folks know you're managing. Alone out here with a strange man and all." After he left, Sarah stared at her reflection in the window. She still wore her late husband's wedding ring on a chain around her neck. Another ghost she carried. "Storm's coming," she said. "Though the sky was clear, you'll need to stay until you're strong enough to travel." Cole heard the lie and the hope beneath it. 1 week later, Cole could walk 3 steps before pain buckled his knee. "Enough to leave," he announced. Sarah poured coffee like she hadn't heard. Outside, the first cardinal sang fall spring, the kind that promised warmth and delivered frost. He tried again. "I should go before I ruin you." Ruin? She finally looked at him. "This town decided I was ruined when I kept this homestead instead of remarrying." "You're just their latest excuse. Tell me why you stayed," he said. So she did. Widowed at 25, refused to sell land. Her husband had died proving up, turned down 3 marriage proposals. The town called her unnatural, stubborn, proud. "And you?" she asked. Cole's story came slower. Emma and Thomas dead 18 months to death. Area while he'd been 200 m away on a cattle drive. Since then, he'd been drifting, taking dangerous jobs, half hoping death would find him. "We're both haunting places," he said. "Not living in them." Sarah opened her mouth to respond, but hoofbeats interrupted through the window. Jenkins again, this time with church women. "Mrs. Caldwell, 60 and righteous, didn't wait for invitation. Mrs. Brennan, this situation is intolerable. A widow and a drifter, unchaperoned. The congregation demands proper arrangements. He's injured, Sarah said evenly. I'm Christian, that's the whole story. The whole town is talking. Let them. After they left in a huff, Cole found Sarah on the porch, shoulders shaking. He sat beside her, didn't touch, just presents. Distant wolves howled. Spring's coming, he said. Neither believed it. Cole Hartley hadn't built anything in 2 years, not since Thomas's toy box, unfinished in a Wyoming barn. But here he was, hammer in hand, fixing Sarah's sagging fence while she fed chickens. Domestic life felt like a language he'd forgotten, but somehow still understood. Over the next 2 weeks, he repaired what winter had broken. Fence posts, roof shingles, the barn door that hung crooked. Sarah taught him her land, which creek held trout, where wild onions grew, how to calm the nervous mare. Partnership bloomed through labor, small intimacies accumulated, hands brushing as they passed tools, shared laughter when chickens escaped into the house, comfortable silences that felt like conversation. He carved decorative wild flowers into a new fence post, included her initials, left it as a surprise. Sunday arrived. Sarah attended church alone. Cole watched her ride away, then spent the morning carving. She returned early, jaw tight. They turned their backs during hymns, she said. Preacher's sermon was about Jezebel. I walked out. Cole had cooked dinner badly, burnt biscuits over salted stew. They laughed together. First genuine joy either had felt in years. Town thinks I'm Jezebel, she said, smile fading. Town's never seen courage on a woman before. The moment stretched. Firelight caught the gold in her hair. He leaned forward. She didn't pull back. Their lips almost touched. A howl split the night, close, too close. Cole grabbed his rifle through the window. Fresh tracks circled the cabin, closer than before. They're back, he said, and they're hungry. Sarah loaded her rifle, too. They stood watch together until dawn, backs to the wall, shoulders touching. Neither slept. Marcus Dawson sat too comfortably in Sarah's kitchen, hat on table like he owned it. A widow needs security, he said, as if Cole, standing in the doorway, didn't exist. Marry me. Restore your reputation. This situation ends. Cole's jaw clenched. Dawson was 50. Wealthy, used to getting what he wanted. I'm not a problem needing your solution, Sarah said. Dawson's mask slipped. You're making a fool of yourself over a drifter. People are talking, Sarah. Your late husband would be ashamed. Get out. Think carefully. Out. After Dawson left, Cole paced. Men like him don't take no. He'll find dirt or invent it. Let him try. That evening, courage found that both. Cole stopped pacing, stood before her. I'm falling in love with you, Sarah, but I'm wrecked inside. I've got nothing to offer. I don't need whole, she said quietly. I need honest. He kissed her, then tentative, then desperate. 2 years of loneliness meeting. She removed her widow's ring, set it on the mantel. I'm done haunting, she whispered. The next morning, hoofbeat hats shattered the peace. Sheriff Garrett, deputy beside him, unrolled a wanted poster. Wanted, Cole Hartley, murder, Wyoming Territory, $500 reward. Sarah's stomach dropped. That's me, Cole said, but not the whole truth. The sheriff's face was grim. You'll need to come to town, son. Answer some questions. He's not going anywhere until you hear his side, Sarah said, but she saw the doubt flicker in sheriff's eyes. In this territory, doubt was as deadly as a noose. I shot a man, Cole said, but I didn't murder him. In Sarah's cabin with the sheriff taking notes. Cole told the story, a ranch foreman in Wyoming beating a 10-year-old Mexican boy half to death for spilling grain. Cole intervened. The foreman pulled a gun. Cole shot first. Shoulder wound, not fatal. The boy lived. Sheriff Garrett asked, yes, but the foreman's father was a territorial judge. I ran rather than face a rigged trial. That's his story, the sheriff said to Sarah. Dawson says different. Says Hartley. Dangerous. Dawson wants my land and my submission. Sarah shot back. Which one do you believe? The sheriff left to wire Wyoming, but the damage was done. Town meeting that night. Dawson's doing. Sarah went alone, stood before the congregation while they shouted accusations harboring criminals. The preacher demanded she renounce Cole or face excommunication. If protecting a child is a crime, she said, voice steady, then I'll stand with criminals. She walked out into jeers. When she returned home, the cabin was empty. A note on the table. You deserve a life, not a legend. Don't follow. See. Sarah collapsed, then saw the carved fence post through the window, her initials intertwined with wild flowers. She ran her fingers over the wood. The telegram arrived an hour later, delivered by the deputy. Charges dropped months ago. Foreman recovered. No active warrant, but Cole was gone. Sarah saddled her mare, loaded her rifle, and rode into the wilderness. She wasn't losing him. Not to pride, not to fear, not to anything. Sarah tracked Cole into the back country, following hoofprints through melting snow. He was heading back to where it started, the place the wolves had found him. Completing a circle or ending one, she found him at dusk sitting beneath the tree where his horse had died, bloodstains still visible in the snow. She didn't speak, just sat beside him. Silence held everything. Finally, you left. I had to. No, you were afraid. Cole's laugh was bitter. The whole town will destroy you for me. The town doesn't decide my life. She pulled the wedding ring from her pocket, the one from his saddle bag. We bury this together. Start new. Sarah, I followed you because love isn't giving up when it's hard. That's just fear dressed up as noble. He broke then, pulled her close, buried his face in her hair. I can't drag you into my wreckage. Too late. I'm already here. They dug a small hole together, placed his ring and her necklace inside, covered it with earth and stones. New season, she said. New life. He agreed. A howl shattered the moment, close, multiple directions. They stood back to back, rifle and knife ready. Wolf eyes appeared in the darkness. 6 sets closing in. They remember me, Cole said. Good, Sarah replied, raising her rifle. Let's make sure they remember us both. The Alpha, scarred and grizzled, fixed on Cole with ancient rage, and charged. Sarah fired. Missed. The Alpha was too fast. Cole threw himself between Sarah and snapping jaws, took the bite on his left shoulder, same side as his original wound. He screamed, drove his knife into the wolf's ribs. The Alpha retreated, bleeding. The pack circled. Sarah fired again, dropped a second wolf. Cole grabbed a dead branch, wrapped his shirt around it, lit it with matches. From his pocket, fire bloomed. The wolves hesitated. Fire was their ancient enemy, but hunger drove them forward. The Alpha charged again, this time at Sarah. She stood her ground, rifle jammed. Wolf was 10 ft away, then 5. Cole's torch caught it across the face. It yelped, stumbled. Sarah dove for her knife, came up underneath, drove the blade home. The Alpha fell. The pack broke, vanished into darkness. Cole collapsed beside the dead wolf, blood soaking his shoulder. Sarah tore his shirt into bandages, hands shaking, but sure. I can't lose you, he gasped. Not after finding you, then stopped trying to leave. She wrapped the wound tight. He caught her hand, held it against his chest. Marry me, he said. Not because of town, not despite them, because I choose you, and I'm done running. Yes, she whispered. On one condition, we face everything together. No more noble exits. Dawn broke through storm clouds, winter's last gasp. Spring sunrise revealed the world melting. Coming alive, they buried the rings at the base of a pine tree, marked it with stones. New season, Sarah said. Cole kissed her. New life. They rode double back toward town, not hiding, not running. Together, 3 months later, the cabin rang with hammer strikes. Cole was building a crib. Sarah, 4 months pregnant, tended the garden where wolves once prowled. Spring had come not as miracle, but as reward for surviving winter. They'd married 2 weeks after the wolf fight. Circuit judge, small gathering. Sheriff Garrett attended a few neighbors, many stayed away. Dawson had left the county. The preacher came privately, hat in hand. "You taught us grace, Mrs. Hartley," he'd said. "I'm sorry. Forgiveness came slowly. Last month, Cole had rescued a child from the river. Mother's opinions shifted, father's followed. The town was learning what Sarah had known. Courage wore many faces. They'd taken in Jenkins's orphaned nephew, a boy of 8 who needed family as much as they needed him. Cole taught him carpentry. Sarah taught him reading. Family reconstructed from choice. Evening settled. Sarah and Cole sat on their porch, watching sunset paint the land gold. Distant wolf howls reminded them danger still lived in the world, but so did they. Cole's hand rested on Sarah's belly. She leaned against him, breathing in sawdust and safety. "Will the baby be brave like you?" the boy asked, appearing in the doorway. "Brave isn't not being afraid," Sarah said. "It's loving people anyway." In the garden, wild flowers bloomed where they'd buried the rings. Blue Colleen, Indian paintbrush, wild roses. Cole had carved a small wooden marker. Winter 1887, where love began, not where it ended, where it began. "Winter always ends," Sarah said, watching fireflies rise. Cole kissed her temple, and spring belongs to those who wait for it. The lamp glowed in the window, same light that had guided him to safety months ago. Now it welcomed a different man home, one who'd stopped running, one who'd learned that love wasn't the death of him. It was the making, the end. Final word count, 487 words.